Okay, Pearl, so we're now on chapter 9, which is called The Shepherd's Story. Your Majesty, said Herringbone, hurrying towards King Fred, who'd just risen from the throne. There is a shepherd from the marshlands here to petition you, sire. He's a little late. I could send him away if your Majesty wants his lunch. A marshlander, said Spittleworth, waving his scented handkerchief beneath his nose. Imagine, sire. Dashed impertinence, being late for the king, said Flapoon. No, said Fred, after a brief hesitation. No. If the poor fellow has travelled this far, we shall see him. Send him in, Herringbone. The chief adviser was delighted at this further evidence of a new, kind, and considerate king, and hurried off to the double doors to tell the guards to let the shepherd inside. The king settled himself back on his throne, and Spittleworth and Flapoon sat back down on their chairs, their expressions sour. The old man now tottered up the long red carpet towards the throne. He was very weather-beaten and rather dirty, with a straggly beard and ragged, patched clothes. He snatched off his cap as he approached the king, looking thoroughly frightened, and when he reached the place where people usually bowed or curtsied, he fell to his knees instead. Your Majesty, he wheezed. Your Majesty, Spittleworth imitated him softly, making the old shepherd sound like a sheep. Flapoon's chins trembled with silent laughter. Your Majesty, continued the shepherd, I have travelled for 5 long days to see ye. It has been a hard journey. I has ridden in hayricks when I could, and walked when I couldn't, and my boots is all holes. Oh, do get on with it, do, muttered Spittleworth, his long nose still buried in his handkerchief. But all the time I was travelling, I thought of old Patch, sire, and how you'd help me if I could but reach the palace. What is old Patch, good fellow? Asked the king, his eyes upon the shepherd's much-darned trousers. 'Tis my old dog, sire, or was, I should perhaps say, replied the shepherd, his eyes filling with tears. Ah, said King Fred, fumbling with the money purse at his belt. Then, good shepherd, take these few gold coins and buy yourself a new... Nay, thank ye, sire, but it bain't a question of gold, said the shepherd. I can find myself a puppy easy enough, though it'll never match old Patch. The shepherd wiped his nose on his sleeve. Spittleworth shuddered. Well then, why have you come to me? Asked King Fred, as kindly as he knew how. To tell ye, sire, how Patch met his end. Ah, said King Fred, his eyes wandering to the golden clock on the mantelpiece. Well, we'd love to hear your story, but we are rather wanting our lunch. 'Twas the Ickabog that ate him, sire, said the shepherd. There was an astonished silence, and then Spittleworth and Flapoon just burst out laughing. The shepherd's eyes overflowed with tears, which fell sparkling onto the red carpet. They've laughed at me from Jeroboam to Chewville, sire, and when I've told them why I was coming to see ye, laughed themselves silly they have, and told me I was daft in the head, but I seen that monster with me own 2 eyes, and so did poor Patch afore he was 8. King Fred felt a strong urge to laugh along with the 2 lords. He wanted his lunch, and he wanted to get rid of this old shepherd, but at the same time that horrid little voice was whispering, selfish, vain, and cruel inside his head. Why don't you tell me what happened? King Fred said to the shepherd, and Spittleworth and Flapoon stopped laughing at once. Well, sire, said the shepherd, wiping his nose on his sleeve again, 'twas twilight, and right foggy, and Patch and me was walking home around the edge of the marsh. Patch sees a marsh teasel. Sees a what? Sees a what? Said King Fred. A marsh teasel, sire. Them's bald rat-like things that lives in the marsh. Not bad in pies if you don't mind eating tails. Flapoon looked queasy. So Patch sees this marsh teasel, said the shepherd continued, and he goes off in chase. I shouts for Patch and shouts, sire, but he was too busy to come back. And then, sire, I hears a yelp. Patch, I cries. Patch, what's got you, lad? But Patch don't come back, sire, and then I sees it through the fog, said the shepherd in a low voice. Huge it is, with eyes like lanterns, and a mouth as wide as that there throne you're on, and its wicked teeth just shining at me. And I forgets old sire, and I runs all the way home. And next day I sets off, sire, to come and see ye. The Ickabog ate my dog, sire, and I wants it punished. The king looked down at the shepherd for a few seconds. Then, very slowly, he got to his feet. Shepherd, said the king, we shall travel north this very day to investigate the matter of the Ickabog once and for all. If any trace of the creature can be found, you may rest assured that it shall be tracked to its lair and punished for its impudence in taking your dog. Now, take these few gold coins and hire yourself a ride back home in a hay cart. My lords, said the king, turning to the stunned Spittleworth and Flaboon, pray change into your riding gear and follow me to the stables. There is a new hunt afoot. He's taking him seriously. Let's see what chapter 10's all about.